Thank you, sir. And the first question today comes from Keith Weiss, Morgan Stanley.
Excellent. Thank you guys for taking the question, and congratulations on a really strong end to FY25. I wanted to dig into the Agentforce opportunities, some really big numbers there in terms of the number of deals signed, and real good revenue momentum there. Investors are asking me a lot and have a lot of questions on how the pricing model shifts.
Hey, Keith?
Yes.
Keith, sorry,
Can you hear me?
the first part of your question cut. Yeah, I can hear you now. The first part of your question cut out. So could you start over, please?
Sure thing. So congratulations on the very strong quarter. A lot of focus on Agentforce and a lot of big numbers there. Investors are asking me a lot of questions about the changing pricing model dynamics, going from a seat-based model to one that includes consumptive elements and how that nets out. So I was hoping you could give us some color in terms of what you guys are seeing thus far when you're doing these Agentforce contracts. Is it expanding the overall contract size? What kind of expansions are you seeing, if you are seeing expansions? And does the math net to be a good positive for Salesforce as we move to a more consumptive model? Or are there any bumps in the road that we should be aware of?
Okay, well, I'd love to address that directly, and then I'm going to ask Brian to come in with some specifics and examples, because I think it's so exciting. I think, of course, we've kind of started the company out with the per user pricing model, and that's about humans. We price per human, so you kind of pricing per human, and then we have products though that are also in the consumption world as well. And of course, those started in the early days, things like our sandboxes, even things like our Commerce Cloud, even our email marketing product, our Marketing Cloud. These are consumption-based products we've had for years, and it's always been a mix of products that we have for humans and then products that we have for computers. Now we have, these kind of products that are for agents also, and agents are also a consumption model. So when we look at our Data Cloud, for example, that's a consumption product. Agentforce is a consumption product, but it's going to be a mix. It's going to be a mix between what's going on with our customers, with how many humans do they have, and then how many agents are they deploying. I think in one example that I can personally tell you about in the quarter, we did a large transaction with a large telecommunications company. It's incredible. And when I was talking to their CEO, she was asking me, how are we going to price the transaction and so forth. And I can't remember the exact number of the deal. I think it was Brian, maybe it was about $20 million in ACV, something like that for the year. Maybe it was $60 million TCV transaction. And then as part of that transaction, it's a mix of, we're rebuilding this telecommunications company. So it's Sales Cloud, it's Service Cloud, it's Marketing Cloud, it's all of our core clouds, but then also it's Agentforce. And the Agentforce component, I think, was maybe $7 million in the transaction. So she was buying $7 million of Agentforce. She bought $13 million in our products for humans. And I think that was about $20 million in total. These are about approximate numbers. I think that's kind of the idea, that you're going to see us be able to deliver, the right package for the right customer. Even if you look at Salesforce, as I mentioned, here we are, working in this world, and kind of Brian has hit on it. We did 360,000 transactions in the quarter with Agentforce, on help.salesforce.com.
Yeah.
380, and then what do you have? About several thousand, customer support reps. And so we have our Service Cloud running, we have Agentforce running, we have our different products running. Then of course, our Service Cloud is deeply integrated with our Sales Cloud and other products. So it's going to be a mix. And I think that the mix is the most exciting thing. I don't know any company that's 100% agents. I don't know any company that doesn't need automation for its humans. I don't know any company that doesn't need a data cloud where it needs a consistent, common data repository for all of its agents to gain their intelligence. And I don't know any company that's not going to need an agentic layer. And that idea of having apps, data, and agents, I think, is going to be the winning combination. You want to actually give the real details,
No,
Brian?
that's exactly right. This trinity, as you called it, Mark, CRM plus data plus agents is really what our customers are coming to us for. Keith, our objective is, how do we serve the customers and focus on customer success? How do we give them what they need to go drive their business forward, both from a productivity and from an efficiency perspective? The pricing models will change over time. There's no doubt about it. The nice thing that we've seen with our customers is they really understand the ROI associated with digital labor. What we're able to provide with agents is really driving the velocity of transactions that we've seen. Mark mentioned the 3,000 transactions that we closed in the fourth quarter, really driven on our ROI model that people understand that they can get a tremendous amount of benefit from agents. We will probably move into the near future from conversations as we price most of our initial deals to universal credits. We'll allow our customers far more flexibility in the way they transact with us. But we see this as significant upside to our pricing structures going forward. And that's what we've seen in the early days with our engagement with customers.
Directly address, like, here's a transaction that you're doing. Let's say a customer comes in, they're very interested in building an agentic layer on their company. Is that bringing other human-based clouds along with it?
No doubt. And I think what we've seen is that we have incremental strength in our core technology, the CRM core technology. You saw in the quarter, we had some good performance, both sales and service cloud, both above 10% growth in the quarter. And so we are seeing people leverage our core technology, the named pricing models with our core apps, and agents together to go drive the efficiencies that they're looking for.
Yeah, I think you're going to really play it out. And when you do come to Trailhead DX and you do see that new Tableau next, I think what you're going to see is a Tableau that was only built for humans before, but now is deeply integrated into Data Cloud and has a deep agentic layer as well. So you're going to be able to come to your own conclusions, get your hands on these products, talk to the customers. We're in an exciting moment.
Thanks, Keith. Operator, we'll take the next question, please.
Thank you, sir. And our next question comes from Kirk Materne, Evercore ISI.
Yes, thanks very much for taking the question. Brian and Mark, I was wondering if you just talk about, you referred to it a little bit, but as Agentforce builds, obviously not every company is going to be ready to potentially go agentic today. But is Agentforce having a bit of a halo effect around some of your other products? Meaning, as we are on the journey to get more monetization from Agentforce, are you seeing pickups or at least higher activity levels in some of your other products that, to Brian, your point, sort of form this trinity? Thanks.
Sure, that's exactly right. And we're seeing it in the way that our customers are using our technology, new ideas, new workflows, new engagements. We talked about Lennar as an example, their ability to handle leads after hours that they weren't able to get back to or respond to in a quick time frame are now able to touch and engage with those leads. And then that, of course, flows into their Salesforce automation system. And so we are seeing this halo effect with our core technology. It is making every single one of our core apps better as they deliver intelligence underpinning these applications. And so it is the message that we're delivering, this trinity of apps, data, and agents that is really compelling to our customers.
Thanks, Kirk.
Thank you.
Operator, we'll take the next question, please.
The next question is Raimo Lenschow, Barclays.
Hey, perfect. Congrats from me as well. And Mark, with Amy and Brian, you lose some very experienced people on the team. What was the thinking in terms of combining those two roles, and how do you see that playing out going forward? Thank you.
Well, I'm so excited, to have Robin come in as our new COFO, and I really think it's exciting because Robin really has this kind of unique capability to deliver the chief operating officer position and chief financial officer position. And I'll tell you, as we did the search, one of the really top candidates that we saw come through held this position in another company. And I think as Robin and I were talking about that, that the leverage of having a COFO, this idea that the financial officer and the chief operating officer really come together as this incredible, partnership to deliver, this capability just was a perfect match for us. I was thinking about going with it with this outside candidate, and that's where I was fortunate to be able to convince Robin to take the job. And Robin, would you like to just say something and just kind of come in here and just tell us about how excited you are to be part of the management team?
Sure, Mark. As you've heard Brian, Amy, and Mark talk about, it is an exciting opportunity for us right now with Agentforce. So I am elated to be able to join forces with the operating team. It's an exciting time in our industry as well. And as you've heard us talk about the Trinity and our deeply unified platform, I think we clearly are able to have something that's going to support our customers' growth and productivity in this new era, I should say, with the result of sustainable and profitable revenue growth for Salesforce long term.
Yeah, and I just want to I should also really thank Miguel Milano, as you probably know, came back as our Chief Revenue Officer about a year ago, and he decided to rejoin us after some cajoling, and I've asked him to work directly for me, running our worldwide sales organization, and so I've been so thrilled about that. And I also have to thank Srini, who's our Chief Engineering Officer, is now our Chief Engineering and Services Officer, who's taken on customer service and support. And it's been a rebalancing of our management team. So we have this amazing new executive with Robin. I couldn't be more excited to have her by my side. And just as a little side note, Robin will tell you I've been trying to convince her to join the company for over a decade. And so I finally got her, and after a lot of selling. So thrilled to have Robin with us and joining us, direct operating executive from the board. And then having Miguel is so exciting. Of course, having Parker with me as well is so critical. And also, as I mentioned, Srini is running services and engineering, and Steve Fisher being promoted recently to our Chief Product Officer, or actually our Chief Technology Officer, running products, and our Chief Product Officer, David Schmeier, also with expanded responsibilities, working directly for me. David is now our Chief Product and Impact Officer. And I couldn't be more thrilled. I also have a great Chief of Staff, Kendall, and a whole team around me with so many incredible functions and capabilities. And of course, smiling and waving at me across the table is Sebastian Niles, my Chief Legal Officer, who has done an unbelievable job since joining the company. So I don't think I've ever had a better management team. I mean, it's hard to beat Amy and Brian, but I think maybe we did it. We're really thrilled. So sorry, Amy and Brian, to see you go. Hui ho. But welcome to the new management team, and we're so thrilled to have them with us, and so we're so excited to start fiscal year 26 with an absolute bang. And Robin, did you want to end with any parting comments?
No.
All right. Very good. She's ready for the next question.
Thanks, Raimo. Let's go to the next question, please, operator.
Up next is Brent Thill, Jefferies.
Thanks, Mark. Just on DOGE and the impact of what the federal and state spent. I'm curious if you could discuss your role and what you think this means for Salesforce.
Well, I don't have any role. I think I'm, of course, I'm coming at this with a beginner's mind, like I'm sure all of us are, that, we want to see what they are able to deliver with the new administration. We're, huge fans of the United States of America. We want us to be a successful country as we possibly can be. And that also includes having something that I think is critical, important for us, which is a balanced budget, something I've, encouraged every president that I've worked with for, quite a few administrations to achieve. We're thrilled with our relationship with the government. You know that we have so many agencies that depend on us, from providing support for veterans through our Veterans Administration and so many other groups. And I think even DOGE is using Slack to manage their communication and coordination. So, we'll work closely with the government. We'll do anything we can to help them succeed. And we wish them only the best. And we're here to help at every step of the way. And we want the U.S. to be, as successful as it possibly can.
Thanks, Brent. Operator, we'll go to the next question, please.
Next up from JP Morgan, it's Mark Murphy.
Thank you so much. Mark, you had mentioned this labor arbitrage and that jobs are going to evolve. When you think through the scale of that kind of an opportunity, how much labor do you think you can augment or replace? For instance, could a company with 1,000 employees slow its hiring or stop hiring and just layer in a couple hundred agent force spots and maybe accelerate its growth? And then, further to Brent's point, can we apply that concept to federal government agencies? If they have 3 million workers, and some of them are going to leave voluntarily. Could they layer in, hundreds of thousands of these Agent Force bots and see some greater efficiency?
Well, I think that, I could wave you away and say I don't really know yet, but I will tell you that since I'm the CEO of a 75,000 person company, or how many employees do we have now? 75, 76,000. So, let's just look at us, so we have 9,000 support agents. We really are seeing tremendous efficiency with help.salesforce.com. So we may see the opportunity to rebalance some of those folks into sales and marketing and other functions. We're really excited about that. I would say that we're definitely have seen a lot of efficiency with engineering and with some of the new tools that I've seen, especially some of these high performance coding tools. One of the key members of my staff who's here in the room with us has just showed me one of his new, examples of what we're able to do with these coding tools. Pretty awesome. And we're not going to hire any new engineers this year. We're seeing 30% productivity increase on engineering, and we're going to really continue to ride that up. And we're going to grow sales pretty dramatically this year. Brian has got a big vision for how to grow the sales organization, probably another 10 to 20%, I hope, this year, because we're seeing incredible levels of demand. I think every company who is our customer or prospect wants us to come in and start talking about what we're going to do with them and how we're going to transform them. Everybody sees the opportunity. I think that, the big message I have for a lot of CEOs that I meet with is, hey, we're the last generation of CEOs to only manage humans. I think every CEO going forward is going to manage, humans and agents together. I know that's what I'm doing. So this is what I have to think about every single day as a CEO. And I think everyone is going to have to start to think about that. It's definitely starting because, as I mentioned, I was with a large CEO group last week, and it was a topic of conversation in every single person that I met with. And with whether it's those life sciences CEOs that we mentioned, or financial services CEOs, or manufacturing CEOs, in every example, they can see how agents are going to be able to augment their workforce. And I think you can see it also in the global economy, that I think productivity is going to rise without additions to more human labor, which is good because human labor is not increasing in the global workforce. So you have a stagnant human workforce worldwide. So if you want productivity to go up and you want GDP to grow up and you want growth, I think that digital labor is going to be one of the catalysts to make that happen. And I was talking with a significant economist and economic leader last week, and I think that, I think everyone's on the same page that we could see something really dramatic. And this is our main focus as a company. We aren't, building huge, 10, 20, 30, $100 billion data centers. We're not, doing some of these kind of engineering efforts that may or may not have some kind of huge payoff, but is going to take down all of our cash and all of our margin for the next several years. We're like augmenting our existing product line with artificial intelligence, taking advantage of these incredible investments that are being made, in infrastructure by others, and we're going to deliver the digital labor revolution. This is our goal. Our goal is to be the number one provider of digital labor in the world. That's it. I don't think there really is another goal, because you can say we're the number one AI CRM, which we already are, but when you're the number one AI CRM, you're also going to lead the digital labor revolution. And that is going to be the focus of fiscal year 26. As I said, this is the year of digital labor, and it is going to be the year where every trailblazer is going to become an agent blazer.
Great, thanks. Operator, we'll take our last question now, please.
And that question comes from Kash Rangan, Goldman Sachs.
Hey, thank you very much. We'll miss you, Brian and Amy. Congratulations, Rob, and one for you, Mark. There's a lot of talk about how we're moving from model building and training to the inference layer. And also as part of that shift to agentic technology, there's been a lot of a debate about the SaaS technology and the business model. Can the SaaS tech stack that you built and pioneered, how does that fit into the agentic world? Is there a risk that SaaS just becomes a CRUD database? It sounds really terrible, but I'm sure you have an opinion. I'd love to hear it. Thank you.
Okay, well, Cash, I really appreciate that. And, look, I've heard that Microsoft narrative too. So, I watched the podcast you watched, and that's a very interesting idea. And, here's how I look at it, which is I believe there is kind of a holy trinity here of AI CRM, which is the apps, the data, and the agents. And these three things have to kind of work together. And I kind of put my money where our mouth is, where we kind of built it and we delivered it. And you can see the 380,000, conversations that we had as point of evidence here in the last 90 days on our service, and with a very high resolution rate of 84%. Now, you can go to help.salesforce.com and you can see that today. Now, Microsoft has had Copilot available for, I think, about 2 years or more than 2 years. And I know that they're the reseller of OpenAI, and they've invested, they're kind of repackaged this, ChatGPT, whatever. But where on their side are they delivering agents? Where in their company have they done this? Where are they a best practice? Because I think that while they can say such a thing, do they have humans and agents working together to create customer success? Are they rebalancing their workforce with humans and agents? I think that it's a very interesting point that, yes, the agentic layer is very important, but it doesn't operate by itself. It operates with data, with a data cloud that has to be federated through your company to all your data sources. And humans, we're still here. I'm here. I just knocked on the table in case anybody wants to know this is not an agent. And I guess we're not very long. Is that actually going to be a good test? But just know that I am here. And you could call me or text me, Cash. And, I am using those apps too. Like I said, I've got the new Tableau is amazing. The Sales Cloud, the Service Cloud I use all of our products. Slack I was just on. And that idea that our apps and our data cloud and our agentic layer are all integrated together right now and delivering value right now to our number one customer zero, Salesforce. Wow, here we go. And are other vendors really doing that? Beware of the false agent. Go out there and take a look. Who's really talking about it and who's really delivering? And this is a lot of engineering that has to get done to make this really work for a large enterprise like us. And Salesforce has done it. We are the number one AI CRM. We are the leader of the digital labor revolution. You can see it now with over 3,000 paid customers. And as you can see, the tens of trillions of transactions that happen in our data cloud. Incredible. So thank you very much for a great fiscal year 25. Thank you to Amy and Brian. It's amazing. And welcome to Robin onto the management team and to all of our new executives. Congratulations on their promotions. And we're ready for a great fiscal year 26. This is going to be the absolute year of Agentforce.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Cash. Thank you, everyone, for joining the call today, and we look forward to seeing everyone over the coming weeks.
Once again, that does conclude today's conference. Thank you all for your participation. You may now disconnect.